¿Cómo estás? It's me, Jenny, aka Coupe Dizzle. Okay, so I am making a what to expect. Well, what to expect when you're expecting chemotherapy to ruin your life or your body. Chemo sucks. Point blank, chemotherapy sucks. So, a lot of things I knew because my mom had breast cancer, and so I knew a lot of what to expect when I got breast cancer and had to go through chemotherapy. If I cough during this video, it is because I'm sick, so I'm sorry. The first thing that you should expect if you have roly-poly veins like I do, or, you know, if you've ever had to get an IV put in and they have trouble accessing your veins or anything like that, you're going to probably want to get a port, because the first time that I did chemotherapy, I went in and I had to get poked like several times and blew my veins, and it was painful, and because I was doing chemotherapy and my blood cells, my white and red blood cells were down, it took me forever for those bruises to go away. It looked horrific. So discuss with your doctor about a port and see if it's something that you should do, something that you should get. Now when you start chemotherapy, whether you're planning on working or if you're fortunate enough like I was to be able to stay home and have help around the house when you're going through all of that, be sure to take a few extra days off, especially during that first treatment. I was really surprised with how bad that first chemotherapy was. Now, the first chemotherapy I did was carboplatin and Taxol. I did Taxol every week for 11 rounds, and then every 3 weeks I would do carboplatin on top of the Taxol. That first one just throws your body into such shock that it really does drain you and it takes you by surprise. So definitely keep this in mind and just take a few days off of work just to give yourself those extra days to rest and recover from that. There are some side effects from chemotherapy that tend to build up with time, but the second time I did chemo was nothing compared to that first round. It really did a number on my body. My body was mad at me. A lot of people experience taste changes. A lot of people will have a metallic taste in their mouth when they go through chemotherapy. So if you are one of those people that get that metallic flavor in your mouth, go to the store and get a whole bunch of plastic silverware so that you're not intentionally putting something in your mouth that's metallic. And also with the nausea, there are a few things that you could do. Ginger is really good. So if you have, like if you're making smoothies, just put a little bit of ginger root in your smoothie. Lemon candies, you can drink lemon water. Those really sour, sharp tastes, you'll be able to actually taste those if you have that metallic flavor. I didn't have the metallic flavor in my mouth, but I did have what felt like a film, like a fuzzy film all through my mouth for a few days after chemotherapy, and it was really weird. It didn't taste like anything, it just felt like my tongue was wearing a jacket. Also, another side effect of chemotherapy that surprised me was neuropathy. A lot of people tend to get neuropathy in their hands and feet, where your hands and toes get tingly or numb. I had an extreme reaction to this part of it. I would not only get neuropathy in my hands and feet, I would get it in my arms, my legs, and half of my face would be numb for a few days after chemo. Finally, Dr. Cherikou just added an extra 30 minutes to my treatment. So he extended that just by 30 minutes, and it made a huge difference. So if you find yourself struggling with neuropathy, maybe talk to your oncologist about extending that treatment just by 30 minutes at first to see if it helps with your symptoms. A major side effect that a lot of people are aware of is hair loss. I do not have hair. This is my wig that I just got, and I'm so happy because I've been braiding it. I buzzed my head the day after my first chemotherapy session, and I kind of regretted it. I felt empowered because I buzzed my head and it was like, F you cancer, I'm going to take it before you do. But when I started losing my hair, it didn't matter how many times I would rinse off my body. I would get out of the shower and have little bitty hairs stuck all over my body, and it was so annoying. And I remember seeing this video on YouTube of this woman very dramatically just ripping the hair from her head. Now I know that didn't hurt her one bit, and she didn't look like she was in pain, but part of me thinks it would have been a lot easier to clean up that hair had it been a little bit longer than it was. You don't just lose hair on your head, you lose hair everywhere. If your doctor tells you you're going to have hair loss, especially if you're going through breast cancer, you're going to lose your hair. Not just your hair on your head or your eyebrows, but you lose your eyelashes, you lose your pubic hair, which is really nice, you lose your leg hair, which is really nice, your armpit hair, which is really nice because you don't have to shave those areas. But a lot of areas that you lose hair in are areas that you don't even think you have hair in, like your nose. And you wouldn't think that would be that big of a deal, but if you have allergies, it could be a really, really big deal. It was for me. I could not step out of the house without just getting really sick because I am allergic to Big Lake. And there were several times that my son wanted to buy me flowers, but opted to get me plastic flowers because he knew that if he brought that home, I would get sick. So my tip for that is to either put Vaseline or Vicks up in your nostril, not too far deep in, just enough so that helps catch some of the allergens and you don't get uber sick, because I started chemo with allergy problems and I felt like I was gonna die. I could not stop coughing during chemo. I was so sick from my allergies. And another thing about the hair, when it starts to come back, it comes back all at once. You have these little baby fine hairs on your face, peach fuzz. Normally, you don't notice those hairs as often because some are falling out, some are growing in, and it's a pattern and it equalizes itself. But oh man, when my hair started growing back after chemotherapy, it looked like I had a Santa beard. It just was white. I had to actually shave, those little eyebrow shave things. I had to shave my face because I just couldn't stand it. Like, I could pull that peach fuzz and it was so annoying. And I was really bummed out because my leg hair was just all over the place. But that has calmed down. My legs are not as hairy as they were before chemo, and neither is my armpit hair. Unfortunately, downstairs is hairy just as it was. But I've heard stories of women who just never grow hair. Like my mom, she's 10 years breast cancer free, and she has maybe 10 hairs total on her legs, and I was not that fortunate. But just don't be surprised when your hair starts growing back that it all just comes back at once. It will calm down, I promise. Another thing to expect is the Neulasta shot. Most of the time they give you the Neulasta shot to help raise your white blood count. This shot is, I don't know, at times I felt like it was worse than the chemo. I just felt so sore. Every muscle in my body just hurt so bad. I remember changing Caden's diaper and he would reach up and grab my neck and it hurt so bad. And it was for a good 3 or 4 days after chemo that I would just be so sore. It also takes the white bloods counts and stuff. It takes them from your bones. So you might, if you are not lactose intolerant or anything like that, definitely take some calcium supplements. I had excruciating jaw pain because of that. And I found that drinking a big old glass of milk in the morning really helped my jaw pain. I still do get some jaw pain, but it's not as often as it was during chemo. and my back still does hurt, so I think it's just going to take time to rebuild that calcium. So if your doctor clears you, definitely take a calcium supplement with your multivitamin during chemotherapy. And just really take care of yourself. If you have any questions or concerns, do not hesitate to talk to your doctor. If you're lucky enough to have an amazing oncologist, they want to make you as comfortable as you can be during this process. So if the anti-nausea medicine is not working for you, tell them. They could prescribe something different. And if you're hurting, tell them. They can help you out. They could give you supplements to take. There are so many things that you can do to make the chemo experience not so intense. I was very fortunate. I never had to get a blood transfusion, something like that. I was told that because my chemotherapy was so intense that I was probably going to have to get 1 or 2 of those, and I didn't have to at all. I never got hospitalized. There was a time that I got so lightheaded from my red blood count being so low that I would pass out. So don't be surprised if you're standing at the sink doing dishes and you feel extremely lightheaded. If that happens, sit down immediately, because I was not listening to my body one time and I passed out in my bathroom and hit my head on the wall. So I hope that these were things that you weren't aware of, and that maybe I brought light to you, and you're not going to be so surprised when that happens. And yeah, these are the unexpected things of chemo. If you can think of anything else, please feel free to comment down below, or if you're on my Facebook page, add it to this link, because there are so many women and men out there going through chemotherapy that feel like they're sideswiped by these side effects. So check your boobs, check your balls, and when life gets really overwhelming and you're stuck in the middle of chemo and you feel like dying, just remember, this too shall pass. I wish you all the best of luck, and hit me up if you have any questions. Good luck, chemo people, my chemo warriors. Have a good day.